blink, blink.
Went the little green frog one day.
Blink, blink,
Went the little green frog.
blink, blink,
Went the little green frog one day, and his eyes went
blink, blink, blink.
That's an awesome song.
thanks. My mom used to sing that with us when we were on our trips sometimes. When
Fun.
we were little. When I was little.
I wonder if you can think about what we're talking about today. I gave you a hint on the last video, and Professor
Ribbit.
Blackfeather just gave you a hint now.
Ribbit.
You're right, we're talking about frogs. Now, linked below are some videos, and they're awesome videos. There's one that talks about frogs and toads, and how they're the same and how they're a little bit different. Now, I have a piece of paper in your packet, and it's got a fancy name to it. It's called a Venn diagram.
Whoa.
Let me show it to you. Some of you may know what a Venn diagram is, and you may have already worked a Venn diagram. But here's the thing. Do you see how there's a big circle, and then in the middle the two circles meet? So while you're watching the video, listen to what the lady is telling. I think it was a lady. What the lady is telling you about frogs and toads. And something that's just for frogs, like a frog, I don't know, I don't even remember. It has something, one of them jumps further than the other, and it has to do with the way their legs are, but I don't remember. But if it's just for a frog, put it only in this part of the first circle.
On the
Don't
frog
go into
side.
the middle. Right here, put it. Now, if it only deals with toads, and it doesn't, frogs wouldn't do what this does, but a toad would, put it in this side of the toad circle. Now, maybe it's something a frog and a toad both do. For instance, the way they have babies, they lay eggs,
Awesome.
they're oviparous.
Awesome.
So in the middle part, that's something that both a frog and a toad would do that's the same. So you would put that part in the middle. Now you might have to listen to that video a couple of times. See if you can find 3 things that's just frog, 3 things that's just toad, and maybe 3 things that are both. Maybe you'll find more. I don't know. It depends on how well you listen. That's one thing. The other thing you might learn too is about a frog's tongue. Now, I don't know if you have ever seen a frog's tongue, but they're fast. They're faster than a second when they catch a bug.
Whoa.
Although I think some toads actually eat other things than bugs. But I don't want to go there because remember in the very first video, it made me a little sad to talk about predators and prey. I don't like that part about the animal world. But they have something sticky on their tongue. It's kind of like if you were to put glue on your tongue and it never dried, and your tongue was really, really fast. That's how their tongue works. So one of the projects you get to do is make your own frog tongue.
Whoa.
Now, you will get a papier plate. You will also get a Pipier Frog.
Those are going to be inside of your packet.
Yes. Here's what I'd like you to do. You can either color the frog first and then cut it out, or you can cut out the frog and then color it. I don't care which way you do it, you're a frog. Once you're done with that and it's cut out, take your paper plate, booty side up. Whoop. Not the part you'd eat on, the other part. I guess you could do it either way. It doesn't matter. I did it with the bottom up. Glue your frog onto your plate. Now, I've already done that. Let me show you. Woo. Time lapse. Pick the thing right out. Oh, there's my frog. So I cut him out and I colored him and then I glued him to the plate. Now, I don't know if you can see that on this paper, but there's a teeny tiny little X right in the middle of his mouth. That's where a grown-up is going to help you cut a hole, because also in your bag is your frog tongue.
Whoa.
And that will stick inside the hole, and then you can croak and stick out your tongue.
That's so cool.
And you can be a frog. Now, I don't know if you want to try this. I read this in a book that a lady at the very end stuck a little tiny piece of Velcro, and then she stuck little tiny pieces of the other side of the Velcro to things like maybe a picture of a bug or something light. And when they stuck out the tongue, they, ooh, I heard a croak.
It croaked.
When they stuck out the tongue, they tried to catch that with their tongue.
That's pretty cool.
So maybe if you've got some Velcro at home, you could try that too.
Love that idea.
Frogs.
Well, froggies.
Okay.
Awesome. So we have another activity that involves origami.
You remember when we made that whale?
I have to
Now,
find
I'm
my
going
piece
to
of
tell
paper.
you,
A whale of a tail? Oh.
that origami was pretty simple. This one is a little bit harder because there's a lot of folds and you really, really, really have to press hard. And your fingers might not be strong enough to do it. Did we lose the paper?
I lost the paper.
Well, there's a piece of paper that you'll get.
That looks kind of like this, or it might be a green piece of paper.
Yeah, there's different kinds of paper. So you really might have to have an adult help you do the folding part. Here's the green one if you have a green one. To do the folding part all the way through. Now there's an instructional video linked below on how to do it. But what you'll get at the end is a hopping frog. What? True.
You want to see what it looks like?
This is for a game.
I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm going to show you how he hops. We'll see if he's going to hop into her hands. Ready? Ready, set.
Oh, he landed on the table.
Oh,
Hooray!
He landed though, which was pretty cool. So you're going to get to take and you're going to press down. See here? Press
On
down.
his tail.
On his tail. And he's going to hop. All right. So this is going to be a special game though. This is going to be kind of a counting game or an addition game. It could even be a subtraction game if you wanted to have it.
Or
be
if you're really smart, maybe a multiplication.
You could do that. That would be
If
really
you know how to
cool.
do multiplying, you could do multiplying with this too.
So inside of the bag, the art bag packet, you are going to get some coffee filters, and there's going to be 5 of them. So what you're going to do is you're going to take, you can hold it, if you hold it flat a little bit, it's a lot easier to be able to cut, but you are going to need to cut kind of like a door. And the reason why is that this is going to be a door for the little froggy to hop into.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of also doubles as looking like a lily pad.
It is, because you know frogs and toads like to hop onto lily pads.
All
It
right.
gives them a space to rest.
So can you see that I just cut off this whole part right here? I cut in, and then just around the side. And there is a lily pad. Da, 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 da. And now inside the lily pad, we are going to do numbers. We're going to draw a number in each one. Now you have 5 lily pads, only 5. In the directions, it says to do 10.
We didn't give you 10.
Did not give you 10. If you want to get more, you can get more of your own, and you can do the same thing. But we have 5 of them here, so you're going to write the number 1 in the middle of the first one. Oh my!
You
it
might
went
want to
straight.
separate them first.
Separate them first if you're going to use marker, because look what happened. It bled through.
It went right through.
So I'm going to separate this.
Pull
And
them
I'm gonna
apart before you
a
write.
2. I just kind of made it into a 2.
2.
Here's a
Dos.
3. I'm missing one. I'm missing one. I only have 4 here.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Surprise.
All right, so 3 and 4, and you're going to have 5 of them, okay? And so then what you're going to do is you're going to set these down on different spots.
I wonder if I could fit 2 together.
Maybe we could fit 2 of them on there.
Here.
And we're going to see which
the
one
froggy
he's going to
jump
jump into. Ready?
Whoop.
Oh, he went into both.
That's
That's
a silly
awesome.
one.
But if he had jumped and he goes boop,
Woo, he made it into number 4.
he landed in the number 4. So you're going to take and you can write down on a piece of paper the number 4. And then you can do an adding activity, and you can have him jump again and try to get into another number, and you add those together to see what.
Or maybe you
Some
go
you
for
get.
like 7 tries and you add up all 7 numbers, and whoever gets the highest number is the winner. Or the
Woo!
wiener. You know.
Winner. It's the winner.
Or
All right.
maybe you subtract, or maybe you multiply. I don't know.
Right. You can, here's the trick. You can engineer this game however you want to engineer it. Just
Yes.
like that one game we did the other last
Space. It was space.
2 times ago, we did a space theme where you had to think of what the directions were and what the rules were for the game, and
Right.
then you kind of went from there and worked together to make sure that those rules worked. Okay, so the same thing with this. Whatever you decide to do up front right away, you need to agree upon it if you're going to play it with a friend. Maybe your mom or dad wants to make their own little froggy too. These are so cute.
They're very cute. They're, like I said, though, they're a little tricky to make. And the link is below that explains the game, gives you options on how to play the game, and shows you how to fold the frog.
Very cool.
Now, we have a couple of other videos linked below. We've got some of my very favoritist videos of all, and they're from the stories Frog and Toad. I love Frog and Toad. One of them is always so happy, and one is always so grumpy. It's kind of like Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street, but in frog form.
Right.
I love Frog and Toad. So there's 2 of those videos. I don't remember if there's any story books about frogs.
I don't think we.
I don't think so. But on Friday, there's something kind of totally different to do. Now, if you remember at the very beginning, we talked about camouflage and how that helped animals survive, how it helps them to either eat and survive or avoid being eaten and survive. And there's a lot of different, we call that an adaptation. There's lots of different ways that animals can protect themselves. And so what we're thinking of doing is, I think there's a video linked to this one about animal adaptation, is you get to create your own creature.
Yay.
So you'll have a little sheet in your envelope that explains about creating your creature. Now there's a page on the back where you can write ideas. Maybe you make up a name for your creature. Maybe you've created, I don't know, a Gabaflat's Pepperdina. I have no idea. And you've got to think of different things that this creature has that helps it to survive. You could write those little ideas down in these circles. Maybe they're just like, one circle is what does it eat? And maybe a Gabaflat's eats gnats and beaver toenails. I don't know. It's your creature. But write that maybe down in the food circle. Maybe you make one circle, where does it live? Maybe it only lives in shoes. So you would put shoes down. Then, this helps you think of some of the ideas about what you want to think about what your creature has. And then over on the other side, you can write from your ideas here and your ideas that you have in your brain, write what your creature is on this page.
Very cool. And then you can take a piece of paper and you can draw a picture of it. Or
You
if you
could.
want to construct it out of recycling, you can do that.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
Or if you want to, if you have some Play-Doh at home
Or clay.
or anything else like that, you can construct and make your version,
Own
the
creature.
official.
Your own Gabaflat's Pepperdina.
Yes. I don't even know how you remember that word.
Well, here's the thing: is there was a man in my life. He was my husband's dad, and that was just a silly name. He would always say, "Oh, I talked to Gabaflat's Pepperdina the other day," and I have no idea who Gabaflat's Pepperdina was. I don't even think it was a real person, but I always remembered that was such a fun thing to say.
But isn't it fun that you can just be creative and do your own thing if you want to do your own thing too? So if
You can
could have
play
your
God a little bit because God created all of the animals, and now maybe you can think of your own.
Awesome. And then you can thank God for all of these cool ideas that you had.
You can. We have one more activity for you.
Dun, 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 dun. It is a word search. It's pretty cool. You're going to be able to find all of these words that we discussed and talked about. Adaptation, blue whale, camouflage, frog, migration, mimicry,
Ooh, mimicry.
nest, origami, toad, and tongue. Just like the frog.
Now, these words can go forward, backwards, up, down, on an angle. It's kind of tricky. And again, if this is something that's kind of hard for you, have an adult give you some hints. Don't let the adult tell you where the word is. Let them give you hints or some skills on how to do it, like maybe crossing off letters or looking at one letter and then looking at all the letters around that letter. There's some ways that you can do this. And if it gets too hard, just put it away for a while and then maybe come back to it later. Because sometimes word searches are a little tricky for you.
Yes. Sometimes for our younger friends it might be a little bit tricky because
Yeah.
those are big, huge words. But you might just surprise yourself at the fun things that you
You
could
also
be able
could
to do.
color code the words.
Yes.
So when you find a word on the grid, you could maybe color toad, color it green. And then maybe if you find nest, you could color that one brown or pink or whatever color you want.
Right.
And then you can see the words better than just circling them.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a hint, don't use a pen or a marker at first, use a pencil. Because sometimes you make mistakes and you want to erase.
Smart. Very smart.
Don't forget to check out links.
Yes.
We got
and,
lots of fun ones.
Yeah, and this is the last
And
one.
now the time is here, the final curtain.
It's our last video.
Last video.
For this session, but also too for the Comet University. We are so excited that you guys joined us this summer for 8 weeks. And some of you were here for just shorter and stuff, but some of you were here for the whole entire time.
Yes.
It was nice having everybody here. And if you can make sure to post those pictures, we would absolutely love to post them as well, or to have them as well as to post them to our Facebook page. I'm sure that the president of the Comet University would
the chancellor.
Yes, that she would really, really enjoy being able to see all the things that you guys are working on and doing. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll keep that Google photo album up for a while after this. So
Yes.
even if you don't get a chance to finish it right at the very end of when we finish this, and it's a couple of weeks later, you can still post, because we'll still be checking to see if there's anything on there that we'd really like to see.
We'll keep it until school starts, I
Yeah,
think.
or maybe even a little while after.
Yeah.
So we want you to have plenty of time to finish all of this. Again, you didn't have to do it in a certain amount of time, but we really would like to see what you did.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank
We
you
had
for,
fun.
Thanks for coming. Bye, guys.
Bye.